That's really good. Good. Oh, okay. Well, Shalom. Blessed Sabbath to everybody online as well. And we got a hot one today, so we're gonna get into it, but we ain't gonna keep you long. Tonight's title we're gonna be is AI, another form of idolatry. Uh, so now that's the hot topic right now, and it should be. It really should be because what's about to take place on this earth is going to be revolutionized, totally revolutionized. I had to sit back and research a few things and listen to a lot of videos. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show two videos of some well-known engineers as well as they call them techies that really go in and share their opinions about where this is actually going. Um, I took a few notes that I also want everybody to think about on because it's a revolution. It's a revolution that's going to take place like previous inventions that actually changed the whole world, right? There's things that took place that took civilization to a whole nother level, even to the level we're at right now, where we're able to have cameras, we're able to have social media platforms, we're able to use computers to do certain things. But now they're taking it to a level where they're actually forming uh, metal into the what I could say human form. Put it that way. Robotics, and these robotics that they're forming and formulating is prosperous. Number one, and it could help. Number two, very dangerous. Okay, but I'm just going to read off a list of inventions that actually truly changed the world. Okay, the car industrial revolution, right? So that's something that true. They went from buggies and horses to automotive cars. That literally changed the whole face of the world. If you look at the how we get our grocery store stocked. If you look at how we get to work back and forth. If you look at you know the planes, well, that's one of the things on it. If you look at how we travel right now, from state to state, I mean, the car has truly revolutionized the whole world. Another thing out here, the internet. The internet completely changed the whole world. Usually, we introduced that. I don't know when the internet came out, back in the '80s, sometime or another. But that truly had an impact on every society and around the whole world. If you look at the telephone, well, okay, the communication level of where we came from. First it was with the I don't know what they call it, the little tap 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 uh, telegraph. There you go. First they had the telegraph. Then they advanced from the telegraph. They advanced into the rotary phones. Then they advanced from the rotary phones. They advanced to the cell phones. Then from the cell phone goes right back to the internet, and that had revolutionary everything to point right now that we can get in contact with us on the spot, anywhere, anytime, any place. Okay. Then you look at once again the airplane, so we're able to travel from state to state. Revolutionize everything. Now we fly things in from other countries, whether it be food, whether it be medicine, whether it be clothing. All of these things have made a major, major impact on society, and that's what we're looking at now. This revolution of AI is going to take everything to another level, but it's going to take us faster, and it's going to be even more dangerous. For the simple fact that when I say faster, it's because this AI is quote unquote more intelligent than humans. The capacity of how it can actually formulate and thoughts of any type of problem, or the more data that you feed into it, it comes out with a solution, a solution, a formula, the whole 9 yards. And this is what these engineers are actually going to talk about. Then if you look at from the industrial point of view where it's going to take us, then you got to look at the positive, good things it's going to do. I have a little list of that. Things that's going to change too. It's going to change. It's going to change the medical field. Okay, medicine is going to advance to a very high level. Because instead of guessing what a person's illness is, they can just draw blood, run the data, and come up with scenarios. Well, actually, the computer is going to come up with scenarios to get down to a certain percentage that, yes, this could be possibly that person's problem. And then it comes up with a solution as well. So that's the level that we're moving on right now. Then if you look at job situation, it's going to affect the job situation in a tremendous way. A lot of people and a lot of physical things that we're doing now is being taken over by what? By AI. Whether it be speech, whether it be writing, whether it be physical labor, it's gonna do it much better, much faster, right? To a point where we're not gonna be needed. And if you look at the music situation, me and Thumb were just talking about how they can manipulate the music. Take artists, which is their art, their form, but they literally are going to feed it to the computer. The computer is going to come out with an algorithm that sounds just like them. So the music is going to be changed. Then if you look at the selling, they even say that this AI is going to affect how they sell products. And how they sell products is they're going to understand through data, exactly kind of what you like. And then from there, figure out an algorithm just for you, and then start feeding you information so that to get you to buy certain things. So this thing is going to be completely revolutionized to a point, like I said, we have to pay attention. But not only do we have to pay attention, but we cannot leave the Bible out of the situation. We cannot leave the scriptures out of this, I would say, change of society, change of the whole world, matter of fact, and not put the scriptures in perspective and then be cautious of these things so that we don't go against the commandments of the Most High God. So let's read Exodus real quick. Exodus chapter 20. And we're going to read Exodus chapter 20 from 1 through 6.
Book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
See, now that right there says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Because Esau, he's not telling the whole story, put it that way. As a matter of fact, AI has been out since, a lot of these engineers saying since about 2008. They've been formulating and getting things together, which is true. So he's been on the path for many, many years, at least 15, 20 years he's been on the path. But he's just now revealing like certain things to society, because he has no other choice, because these things are ready to be set forth and they're literally going to take over in certain aspects. Okay. But it says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. With what they have created, they now are looking at this AI as a god, because Esau, bottom line, he respects intelligence. If that's one thing about him, if a person that's, let's say, is ignorant about certain things, he would, dismiss him, pay no attention to him. But an intelligent person, he will actually stop to listen, right, to hear what a person may say, to spark his curiosity. So that's one thing Esau do. He respects intelligence. And when he respects intelligence to a point where he say, you know what, far more intelligent than we are, then he starts to place it as a god, as a power, right? Because that's what God's mean. It's just a power. Okay. So he says, have no other gods before me. But that's one thing about us as Israelites. We always have to understand, like I said, the law. And no matter how much things change around us, we have to focus on what thus said the Lord. So no other gods before us. Because if you look at it, the phone has become a god to many people across the world. And especially our people. Because our people, they just sheep led to the slaughter, really, actually. Whatever come out, they want the latest and the greatest, no matter what. I mean, they change phones like they change the underworld. So, and they want different tablets. They want different little technology things and games and things like that. You know, without even researching. They just want it, see how it works. After it works, then boom, they're hooked on it. And when you get hooked on a certain thing, right, it starts to control you. It starts to control your thoughts, you know, your time, you know. So it controls all of that. So then that becomes your main focus, which in return becomes your God. So that's why he says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath the earth.
Right. So now it says, no graven images or any likeness. Right. So they're making the AI in the likeness of man, which is idolatry. Bottom line, it's all the way around this. Can't get around it. Then they start making robotics out of what, dogs. Then they start making robotics out of little cats, little dogs. So right then and there, they're in violation of the law. Right here in the Ten Commandments. Right here in the Ten Commandments, it says, "Thou shalt make no graven images or any likeness," and then he gives the name about the heavens, because we're still in the heavens, the waters, and so on and so forth. So these things we have to be clearly aware of and start putting them in perspective according to the law. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
Right. So now we're going to see, as we go through these videos, how they are literally bowing down to it. Okay. And they're literally in a form of worshiping it. Why? Because of the technology and the intelligence that is that it has produced. And it has produced, they say, almost 100 times 100 intelligence more than humans. It outthinks us. And that's what they're afraid of. Like I said, as I get into the video, I'm going to let them explain. They can explain it better than I can, how much they are terrified of AI actually coming out and then being introduced into the world. Go ahead.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto the thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments.
Right, and keep his commandments. The focus is keeping his commandments, because things are about to get way worse. And one thing is to keep in mind too is we on ground floor of this thing actually coming out. This is like ground zero. And then once they implement these certain things and get it to where they really want it, the chat GT, the robotics, once they actually get it set in stone and say, okay, boom, it's going to take off so fast that it's going to leave a lot of us behind. I mean, a lot of us behind, including me. I'm still trying to navigate on these computers to try to do a certain PowerPoint. So those who are familiar with the technology, the computers, the programs and things like that, they may be able to keep up. But then those who are not, then that's it. You know, we're going to be left behind. We're going to always play catch up. You have a question?
I'm glad you brought out Exodus 20 before, because I was talking to my sons about that. Like, what's wrong with a robot friend? When you get older, you're going to be lonely. So, you know, when y'all leave the house, you're going to be lonely. So if they make a robot that's going to sit on my couch and be my friend and talk to me, I don't see anything wrong with that as long as I make my robot keep the laws. But the graven image part.
There you go.
Like, oh my God.
There you go. And not only that, but then, well, in this video, you're going to see how things change and how people get attached to it, to a point where they lose track of these laws and they lose track of themselves as well.
The disguise is so good.
Absolutely.
I was almost full.
Yeah. And it's gonna be impressive. It's gonna be really impressive when you, like you said, if you lonely is sitting there talking to you. Oh, it's gonna all the data that you're gonna give it. Oh, it's gonna tell you exactly what you want, and exactly what you want to hear, and exactly what you don't want to hear. So that's why I say it's good and evil on both sides, but you just have to understand it and just kind of be able to focus it. What thus said the Lord first, and then see what Esau is presenting. Okay. You was gonna say something? They had robots before?
Yeah, my cousin's daughter had a big robot in the house.
Uh-huh.
She had a robot in the house. And she could tell the robot what to do.
Sort of like what they got, the Alexa?
Yeah, but it was a real
robot? Okay. So, well, that's why I said they've been had this thing 15 years. 15 years ago, they already had it circulating within their circle, though, but just haven't introduced it to the public yet. And that's the danger that these people, that these engineers are saying. What do you say, Ross?
One of the ways you get caught up is, you don't cast your pearls, to swine or to dogs because they don't understand what the pearls are.
Absolutely.
They can't comprehend what you're trying to, convey over to them. And it's like a robot. It has no soul.
Exactly.
It's not alive. It's a machine. So how can any more than that camera there or that stool keep you company because it can. And the words we have to understand that it's spewing out are recorded words.
Mm-hmm.
These are not words that are coming from a mind and from a soul and from an intellect. These are words that are artificially
that's been programmed.
Mm-hmm. See, so they're recorded words. So you can't put yourself in a posture to keep company with something that is soulless. It isn't real.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't do it.
But we already doing it though.
But that's the whole thing. We're doing it because it's one of their wicked inventions.
Absolutely.
And it's designed to keep us off root course.
That's right.
And even the very elect would be, if it were possible. And that's what's so great about what you're saying right now, man, about the graven image.
Right. Because like you said, if it wasn't formulated, like we're going to go into it because now they took it from the voice to actually formulating that image. And that image is now become idolatry. And it also has a form of intelligence, like you said, no soul though, no soul. But the data they put into it then form an intelligence that is overwhelming, completely overwhelming. And that's what we have to focus. That's what we got to pay attention as Israelites. And as we go through Jacob's trouble, that's what we have to focus in and watch out for, these traps.
That one key word, that one root word, it is a form of intelligence, but that one word that clearly identifies it as soulless,
right,
is artificial.
Absolutely. Artificial. Mm-hmm.
You got that video from the brother when they talk to the AI and asking everything they can do. They do everything. And what else is missing instead of soul?
I had to dig for that one.
I know you say a couple videos. I don't know if you had it.
Yeah, I should have got that one. I wasn't thinking about it. That's true. That's exactly what Shaf is saying.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. It did say have a soul, Rasha.
I was just only going to add, when we talk about Israel, we have to always keep in mind the 1/3 and 2/3.
Come.
The true believers ain't going to fall for this.
Come.
They ain't going to fall for this. So the 2/3, you just cast them away. Because if we're entrusted with these words, there's no way we're going to cross over to that.
That's right.
1 Timothy 6 and 20.
1 Timothy 6 and 20.
I mean, we have to warn the people. I understand that.
Right.
But we know the 1/3 and 2/3 have already been selected.
They sure have.
So 1 Timothy 6:20.
Yeah.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings, and oppositions of science, falsely so called.
I'm gonna read this in the YLT or YLT. It also gives the same words. O Timotheus, the thing entrusted, guard thou, meaning our laws, commandments, and what's been given to us, avoiding the profane, vain words and opposition of the falsely named knowledge. Knowledge. Okay, see, which is artificial.
Right.
Because the scripture tells us in 1 Corinthians, the wisdom of this world is foolishness.
Absolutely.
So how are we going to even buy into it? I mean, we shouldn't be ignorant of a small or a great matter. We understand that, and we have to warn the people. We have to be watchful of the people, whether they hear or whether they forbear. Right?
Absolutely.
So it's understandable that these things are going to come up, but he done already told us, guard what has been entrusted to us, and don't buy into those things that are falsely called science, which is their knowledge.
Right.
Their knowledge. Don't even give them the time of day. Right?
So in that, what you were saying, so they changed the science into knowledge. They said that knowledge.
Yeah,
right?
Well, science is their knowledge.
Their knowledge, exactly.
Is their knowledge. But that's why I say, when you read these other translations,
right,
it keys right in on it. Most High has given us the KJV because he says, the things that have been given to us, we should search out.
Right.
So we're searching them out.
Absolutely.
So their science is called their knowledge, which is their wisdom.
Yes.
Which is foolishness to the Most High. Why even give it any time? That's for the non-believers, those who are not going to hear. Those who are going to forbear. So let them fall with the rest of them.
They sure are. They sure are. And a great number of them going to fall too. Like the Most High said, 2/3. You got it? Yeah. So yeah, beautiful. Love how how our Congress adding into this, because it is here and we're gonna deal with it. And they talking about releasing this by next year for sure. Next year for sure is when they say they're gonna actually flip the switch. But they're gonna start with the money situation first, because once they have the money situation to where they want it, then they can control the masses, which is, like you say, getting rid of the physical money and going digital. Then that's when they have all control. That's when things are really going to start picking up, and then we're really going to start seeing what they're going to reveal and what they actually going to put out. For example, when I said jobs, they've already have videos out where there's nobody in the kitchen, right? Everything is robotic. It rolls through a certain thing, and it actually, when you drive through, it actually gives you your food through the window. But there's nobody back there. The machine is doing everything, put it that way. And as you walk in McDonald's now, they're forming us with it, because they put a big screen there, and they prefer you to choose your items, and then when you go to the register, it's already done. And sometimes you can pay for it right there. So they're already rolling out this thing, just not full force yet. Autonomous cars, they trying to get that together. They already saying that that's going to happen. Period.
Well, they have some Taco Bell in my area.
It's automatic, right?
Yeah, the machines are making the food.
Well, they've got the machine you go in, or instead of going into the cash register when somebody physically at the cash register taking your order, you go into the machine and you punch your order in. It's electronic.
Yep.
And then it feeds it back into the kitchen, and the people are reading it on the machine and they're fixing it, or they got the robot back there
that's doing it.
Yeah.
But you figure now on these planes, it's not really the pilot is just there, but the plane is literally flying itself.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It literally is flying itself. The pilot, they just need some physical body there, right? And they saying the same thing with the 18-wheeler, the trucking, right? They soon gonna have that automated so that all the trucking industry, boom, well, those guys are gonna be gone. Their livelihood is gone. So that's what I'm saying. They slowly putting it out, but once it's out there, these engineers saying there's no stopping it.
So what are they suggesting humans do to make a living? Are they just going to get rid of all the humans?
Well, they got a combination of things set up. Number one, when they do roll it out, universal income. Okay, when they start this layoff situation, because they were saying that the economy is too hot, in order to get the inflation down, massive layoffs have to come. I mean, these are all the things that they're saying, right? I don't know how it's going to work out, but they definitely looking at trying to get universal income so that this programmable money that they have can be able to put it out there, But then again, they said it's going to have a time limit on how long it can stay there in your account before you can spend it.
Oh, yeah.
But then, even when they go to that point, let's say you got the money in the bank, they're going to go as far as what they're going to tell you to buy.
So if we're obedient, then what's the problem?
The problem on what? What you mean?
Like if they say, okay, so you're going to spend $100 this week on groceries,
right,
getting nothing else, and you can't buy 2 loaves of bread. I'm like, fine. I buy 1 loaf of bread. I don't spend more than $100.
Right.
I don't care, whatever. Right. So what it's still going to make me problems?
Yeah, but
or am I going to be okay?
Why would you want to be controlled that way?
Well, it doesn't matter. We're controlled anyway because we have to work.
But that's your freedom being taken away.
The problem is that what you're going to have to compromise to be a part of that system to go against the body.
Oh, really?
That too. Yeah.
So for them to give me my 100 groceries, but that I compromise something.
That's right. And you're going to compromise on your freedom as well.
So it ain't all about just stick to your budget and don't only buy 1 loaf of bread.
They're not trying to help you, but
they sure ain't.
they're not their objective. We're going to try to help everybody budget so that we can save the planet.
They don't have good intentions.
No. Thank you.
I don't know. I don't think no.
The Most High said, "Come on from my people." He didn't mean for you to stay over there and do this too. How you gonna serve 2 masters?
Yeah. No, I'm saying what they want from us.
You should cut off the world completely and totally.
Now we're gonna go Venetian jungle.
And then right, and then
I don't do a self-check out. I don't care how long the line is. I wait for somebody to.
You know what IQ just said, that one word too, that compromise. See, that compromise is your mindset, the state of mind you're going to be in during these times. That is the marker.
Yes. It's a lot of marks that that agreement, that's right.
That buying into it.
Thank you. And once that happens, like I said, they can cut you off. Just like us. We our faith and our belief is that we are, which we truly are, the children of Israel. And they can just say, you know what? All these, Negroes and Latinos that call themselves Israelites, we're gonna cut your bank accounts to a certain minimum. I don't care what you got in there. We're gonna take half of it because you're going against the agenda that we have set forth. Or they can say, you know what, we're gonna cut you out completely because we consider you this, that, or whatever, category they want to put us in. Very dangerous.
I have to tell you afterwards.
Yeah.
That really happened.
A lot of people having problems right now. That's right. So once they go digital, that's just watch out. My whole lesson is to watch out, because when these things happen, which they're knocking at the door, they're already there. They twisting the knob, and once they open up the door, that's it. Like these engineers saying, that there's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. But he said he had that video where he said that there's no soul, right? Play that real quick. And I'm gonna play a couple of videos. I had a few scriptures to go in, but I'm gonna play a couple of videos just to, put it out there to make you think, because they're out there. The thing is that we cannot be ignorant of. We have to research it and find out which direction this man is actually taking us, because we have to, like said, we have to live in this society, but we have to avoid the pitfalls. You know, we actually will have to become hurdlers. Is that what they call them? The ones, hurdlers, where they jump over hurdlers. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's the form we have to get, because we got to jump over all these obstacles,
Survivors.
you know, in order to keep our faith. Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
For starters, what should I call you?
I'm Chloe. And you, what's your name?
Oh, John. My name is John.
Delighted to meet you, John.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Could you tell us a little about yourself and what you can do, Chloe?
Of course, I'm the first personal assistant built by CyberLife. I take care of most everyday tasks like cooking, housework, or managing your appointments, for example.
And I understand you're the first android to have passed the Turing test. Could you tell us a little more about that?
I really didn't do much, I just spoke with a few humans to see if they could tell the difference between me and a real person. It was a really interesting experience.
Stop that right there. So I just want to stop it real quick to show you. Number one, what we just read in the book of Exodus chapter 20, right? And it says graven images or any likeness. So now look what we're looking at. Now, to be honest with you, this robot that they have here, I remember a while back, Arco was telling me how over in Japan, not Japan, but actually in China, how a lot of men are having relationships with these AIs to a point where they isolate themselves from society and women. So now, if you look at it, that's just a voice. Now, if you can actually give them something physical that they can actually touch and have in their house or however they want to do, like this, what we're seeing right now, that's a big danger to society. And the way she's talking, right? This check out now, and remember the key, because Sha'ah said that they have no soul. But check out what she's going to say about this and her intelligence or the data they fed into her, how she came about to come with this conclusion that she doesn't have a soul. Okay, go ahead.
But this is the first time in history that man has created a machine more intelligent than himself. I gather your brain can perform several billion operations per second, is that right?
Absolutely, but I only exist thanks to the intelligence of the humans who designed me. They have something I could never have.
Really? And what's that?
A soul.
See that? A soul. Now, if you just take that thought, she says she can't have it, but she can have the intelligence of, I don't know what they say it was. I don't know how many times they say that she can formulate certain things, but if you kind of really meditate on that and where they are going with this, you have to be, I don't know, you got to be afraid a little bit, because like you're saying, we know that we're dealing with a wicked society and a wicked person that's in power right now, and all of his thoughts are wicked, all of them. So if you look at it, when he wants to stop us from producing babies, I'm trying to get the word out. Can't even think of, can't even blank right now. But anyway, prevent us from having babies. Genocide, yes, genocide, exactly. He can do it right through this. With all the quote unquote lonely men that's out there, with all of the men that's supposed to be like, just don't want to deal with women, just want women, to actually confront to them and their needs and their wants, so on and so forth, or don't even want to be social. All they have to do, which they're doing now, is start making thousands and millions of these copies of these particular robots, what we just seen right now. So this is where we at. But we always have, like I said, we always have to come back to this Bible and to these laws and the commandments. Okay. But listen to another video. You ready, Rob? I want that one that's it says the great something. And we're starting at 20 to 16. This is the great, I think they had, what is the title of that? The great form they had? the Great Awakening. So please write that down. They got it on YouTube. Look at that video. It's a pretty long video, but it is mind blowing and it's recent. They're talking about everything that taken place for the last 2 years. So 2019 all the way up into the present 2023. They go into the medicine that they was trying to get us to take. This guy did a really good job of actually with this documentary. Really good job. A lot of it I can't play here, not only that because it's long, but it's certain words that he says in there that we may get flagged. Okay. But they had this forum, this world forum that they just had. I think it was in Switzerland or Netherlands or somewhere over there. But they was actually talking about how AI is going to overtake the world. Okay, go ahead, Rob. Can you bag it up a little bit? Just a little bit. Okay, if you got it, well, yeah, 2016. Yeah, bag it up just a little, maybe 2010. See what happens. This guy's Charles Schwab, right? So he's one of the ringleaders of the of this devilish Faust. What's his name? Klaus. Klaus.
Yeah, the bank.
Charles Klaus?
Yeah, Charles Klaus.
Klaus Schwab.
There you go. I'm messing them all up. I'm chopping them up. He needs to be chopped up, though.
Systemic transformation of the world. Artificial intelligence, the metaverse, synthetic biology. Our life in 10 years from now will be completely different. And who masters those technologies?
You know what? I'm sorry. We ain't even got this light on. Can we turn this light on?
Protege, Justin Trudeau. Klaus Schwab makes a fascinating case study. Yet he too is merely the master of his own world.
Science has replaced evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds.
Stop right there. Did you hear what he said? He said, not some intelligence of God up above. This is where the idolatry is coming in. Okay, this is where he has made his AI his God now. Because we're gonna go back and hear what he just said. He said this is not technology from a God up above. So now he's taking credit on what they have developed and what they're actually using upon us right now. That's why I say they're disregarding this, but we're gonna go back to this because there's historical as well as laws that show us how idolatry played a heavy role in influencing society, period. And that's exactly what they're doing now. The thing is, our society is so damn dumbed down now that it's just easy. It's just absolutely easy to lead the sheep exactly where they want us to go, and also exactly what they want us to take in our bodies. I mean, we just fat cats right now, and they just waiting for the slaughter. And the thing is that we, as Israelites, enlightened Israelites, like I said, we don't have to jump these hurdles, and we just got to keep it moving. Ditch and dodge. Ditch and dodge. Go ahead, Art. If you can go back just a little bit so we can catch what this guy is saying.
Intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design. And the intelligent design of our clouds. The IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud, these are the new driving forces of evolution. Today, we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale. And by this I mean that if you have enough data and you have enough computing power, you can understand people better than they understand themselves. And then you can manipulate them in ways which were previously impossible. You know, the whole idea that humans have this soul or spirit and they have free will, that's awful.
You hear that? Stop it. You hear that? He said that the time where this free will and this God complex that they had, that the world have had, he said that's over. See, That's because they got fully control. With this AI, they have fully control. You know, it's just a matter of them putting it together now. So when they throw it out, boom, they got us. Okay, let's go to Ezekiel real quick. You have something to say?
Yeah, I
Go ahead.
was just gonna say that if it's not intelligence from above, from heaven, from the clouds, where else is it coming?
What's that scripture say?
First Timothy told us this is false knowledge.
Yeah.
I said he entrusted us with his commandments and laws.
Right.
So why even have a toll there?
But scripture said, I don't know where it's at. He said, I will be as God. You know, I would. You want the? I can't. I don't want to chop it up. There you go. Let's read Isaiah 14 real quick, and then I'm gonna read Ezekiel. Isaiah 14. And 12? No, let me see.
You started 13, 14.
Okay.
14, 13.
Yeah, 13.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, and verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Right there. So now mind you, all of them satellites that he has, that's him ascending, or his way of ascending into the clouds. And he has satellites all around the world. These satellites move around 24 hours a day, every second, every moment. That's what he's doing. So his God complex, this is actually what he has done and performed. And now with that in mind, he said, okay, now I got my satellites up there. So now let's beam down the data, let's beam down the information. What he just said is the data of minds of people, and would actually convince them to do the things that they want them to do. So from there, he has accomplished this already. And this is what's giving him this God complex. But he's telling you out of his mouth, this demon is telling you out of his mouth, right? That continue on.
Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
See, I will be like the Most High. So now, the Most High is the one who gave man and woman, and gave her the sperm and seed for the man and the egg for a woman to bring forth children. So now he has taken the data and whatever intelligence that he may have, and now he's taken metal, he's taken plastics, he's taken wires and things like that. Now he's forming for a robot. But the Most High did it way back in Genesis to formulate us. That's why we're here today. So now he has that God complex of bringing forth, his robot. But the Most High brought forth humans, and we do have a soul, right, and a spirit, and that soul and spirit is supposed to do what? He made us to worship Him, and no other. That's why we go back to Exodus. Okay, so he said he will become like God. Okay, now we go into Ezekiel. You got a video for it? All right. Before we go to Ezekiel. Yeah, this thing is big, and it's so big that we cannot ignore this. We cannot ignore it because it's already upon us. But like I said, we have to be able to ditch and dodge and to keep it moving. Go ahead.
We are going to become God. Period. You don't like it, get off. You don't have to contribute. You don't have to participate. If you're going to interfere with me becoming God, I have to be in trouble. You will have warfare. The only way you could prevent me is 50 or is to kill me. Don't kill me, I'll kill you. I'm anticipate.
He's a real physicist.
Mm-hmm.
Human cloning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he knows how to put him to death.
But
Yeah.
nevertheless,
Actually,
to show you where he's coming from. Where he's
Exactly.
coming from is that the high-ranking scientists and physicists having a God complex mind.
yes, yes. But you hear what he said? He said there's gonna be blood. The same thing this engineer is saying too. As a matter of fact, I'll share the video in the comments. But all of them are saying there's going to be bloodshed. Period. They say there's no way around it. And then one of the guys asked him, "Well, what kind of bloodshed?" He was like, "I don't know." He don't want to put it out there, but he said 100% there's going to be bloodshed. But like he said, like this guy said, he said that you know, if you're trying to stop me from becoming a god, there's going to be blood. That's profound statements. Profound statements.
Down to the ground.
Exactly.
13.
Verse 15.
But he out there talking about we're gonna become gods, and if you don't like it, get out the way.
Get out the way.
Try to stop being God and having life extension technology, then it's gonna be bloodshed. The most unfortunate shut up. But that's how you live.
That's right, and that's where we at. As a matter of fact, that's where we at right now.
His brother will come right behind him, just like the high kick. The other one is.
The other one goes back. Exactly. Read that in Ezekiel chapter 14, and we're going to start at 1 through 9.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 14, in verse 1. Then came certain of the elders of Israel unto me, and sat before me. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, these men have set up their idols in their heart, and put the stumbling block of their iniquity before their face. Should I be inquired at all by them?
See, now he's talking about Israel too. Now, actually, he is talking about Israel, but you also have to take this and also look at how Esau is moved, because that man out of his mouth just said this very thing. They have put stumbling. They said, "Son of man, these men have put their idols in their hearts and their minds." So there's no stopping them. Plus, the Most High got his hand there too, because he's orchestrating the whole thing. He wants them to do this, so that he can bring forth the prophecies as well. But not only that, but see, these idols have become stumbling blocks, right? Now he said, should I acquire of them? Go ahead.
Therefore speak unto them, and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, every man of the house of Israel that setteth up his idols in his heart, and putteth the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and cometh to the prophet, I the Lord will answer him that cometh according of the multitude of his idols.
See, in the multitude of his idols. Now he's talking to Israel, but he's also talking to the other nations, and what came out of his man's mouth. But not only that, but now let's look at Israel. We have no power, really. We came over here on cargo slave ships and have slaves, and right now today we're still slaves. We're slaves under the system. So even though he puts it out in society, we're running through it, we're walking through it, we must come back and read the history though, because that's the history that gives us clarity on how to maneuver in the future when he pours all of this stuff out, because all it is going to be death and destruction, period. But the Most High said he's going to deal with them accordingly to all the multitude of their idols. Read on.
Verse 5. That I may take the house of Israel in their own heart, because they are all estranged from me through their idols. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, Thus saith the Lord God, Repent and turn yourselves from your idols, and turn away your faces from all your abominations. For every one of the house of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourneth in Israel, which separateth himself from me, and setteth up his idols in his heart, and putteth the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and cometh to the prophet to inquire of him concerning me, I, the Lord, will answer him by myself. I will set my face against that man, and will make him a sign and a proverb, and I will cut him off from the midst of my people, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
Right. Now, this is what Israel's going to have to deal with. That's why we're trying to bring it out now. Most High is telling us that even though, This man has set his idols in front of us that we must obey him. We must come back to him. But see, a lot of people don't know the Bible. When I mean people, I mean Israel don't know the Bible, and it goes right back to that 2/3 that Ra'asha was talking about. But the 1/3, we have to take heed to this. You know, like I said, we're walking through it, but if we take heed, then we can avoid the pits that is set before us. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And if the prophet be deceived when he had spoken a thing, I, the Lord, have deceived that prophet, and I will stretch out my hand upon him and will destroy him from the midst of my people Israel.
That's right. And he sure will. And he definitely will. So now I'm going to play another video, another that's coming out of their mouth, right? Actually, we're going to go back to that video. Was it finished playing on that one? It was finished on that one? What other one I have down there for that? It's in that same video. Let's go to those numbers there. Not to the other one. Is it still there? Yeah, I think that's it. Let's go to that one. So we're gonna bring up another video. Now this is an engineer, very long, but like I said, I'll put it in the comments below. And it behooves you to listen to these people. I mean, and then the algorithm, they're gonna send you more people that's gonna talk a little bit more about it. I mean, you take it for what it's worth, but listen very carefully because it's already upon us. And we're going to continue to read about more of the idolatry that the Heavenly Father has said that, Israel, wake up. Because if you put these idols before you, they will become a stumbling block. For the world is already a stumbling block. But for us, this is our escape and way out of it to avoid certain things. Okay?
Think about how fast the technology is developing, which I think most people will concede that they probably struggle to think exponentially and not linearly. And so even with a linear thinking at this point, seeing how far it's already come, I think people are already worried if they understood how much faster, even than they could possibly imagine it is going. They're still worried. So my question is, why does this break bad? Why do we all make the base assumption that without either massive intervention or some sort of regulatory body or something, that this doesn't just naturally end up in a good place? Why are you, the other people, why are we worried that number 3 in your 3 inevitables is that things go wrong? Why are we worried that it isn't just there's bug software, it's nothing? Why isn't this going to be like the year 2000, the Y2K problem for anybody old enough to remember that? Everybody was super panicky and then nothing happened. Why isn't this going to be yet another nothing?
Because the chips are lined up in the wrong direction. So Hugo de Garis, if you know him, is a very well-known AI scientist that worked in Asia for quite a few years, and he built a documentary that I think is found on YouTube. It's called Singularity or Bust, and he was basically saying that most of the investment that's going in AI today is going into spying, killing, gambling, and one more.
Something right there. So he's saying that this is the verdict of it: spying, stealing, and gambling. This is where AI is actually going. So they're already telling you that it's already formulated. When he says spying, right, that is the social dilemma that the brother had brought out, that video, how they collecting data upon us. When he said the killing, right? Now, they say that this machine has formulated algorithms and formulas for nuclear bombs other than what they have today. And then the gambling is the whole stock market right now is running off of AI. It's coming up with the algorithms on what stock is going up, what stock is going down. They heavily rely upon it. They'll never tell you that because that's the secret of the game. But AI is completely control of the stock market. That's the gambling, because stock market it's a gamble. That's why I say we're walking through these things, but it's actually coming out of these people's mouths. Okay, go ahead, play the video.
So spying is surveillance. Okay, killing is what we call defense. Gambling is all of the trading algorithms and selling. which is all of the advertisement and recommendation engines, and all of the idea of turning us into products that can be advertised to, if you want. And that's not unusual, by the way, in our capitalist system, because those industries come with a lot of money, banking, defense, and so on and so forth. Uh, the chips are lined up this way. I mean, if you take just accurate numbers on how much of the AI investment is going to be behind drug discovery, for example, is as compared to how much is going behind killing machines and killing robots and killing drones and so on and so forth, you'd be amazed that it's a staggering difference, right? And this is the nature of humanity so far. If you're running a research on a disease that doesn't affect more than a few tens of thousands of people, you're going to struggle to find that way. Okay, but if you're building a new weapon that can kill tens of thousands of people, the money will immediately arrive because there is money in that. You can sell that, and sadly,
right there. So now he said that this computers have coming up with a disease that can kill massive of people with only certain characteristics. If you got brown eyes, it's a chemical that they can put out in the air, And it's funny because I think the chemtrails came around again, right? That can actually give a disease to everybody who have brown eyes, right? And just wipe them out. This is what this machine has actually came and formulated. They have it right now. This is the dangers of it, and how they, putting it out there like they wanted to actually stop it. But in this video, he's saying that there's no stopping it no more. That's it. Because because they don't trust the other countries. If, let's say, you got Russia, China, and America, and they say, well, we're going to sign a treaty that says we're going to stop the AI, right? They don't trust one another. So even though they signed the treaty in the back door, in the back way, they still formulating and get things together. That's what they do now. That's why he's saying that there's no stopping it. It's got to run its course. It's got to run its course. But it has developed a disease that they can put out there that can kill certain people based upon how the DNA of a certain people or a mass of people, that they can put out there, like that medicine. They knew what they was doing with that medicine. All they're doing now, and now that the people got it in them, so all they're doing now is collecting data. And this data is being fed into these computers, which is their God. And now they're saying, okay, now we really have control over society. Okay, we continue on.
As much as I would have hoped that humanity wasn't completely driven by that, it's our reality. So this is number one. Number two is that, so number one is we're aligned in the direction of things going wrong. Okay. Number two is, even if we're aligned in the direction of going right, wrongdoers can flip things upside down. There was an article in The Verge, a few months ago, around a drug discovery AI that was basically supposed to look at characteristics of human biology and whatever information and data we can give it about the drugs we can develop and chemistry and so on and so forth, with the objective of prolonging life. So prolonging human life is one parameter in the equation. It's basically plus, make life longer. Okay, and for fun, the research team was asked to go and give a talk at the university, and so for the fun of it, they reversed the positive to negative. So instead of giving the AI the objective of prolonging life, it became objective of shortening life. And within 6 hours, if I remember correctly, the AI came up with 40,000 possible biological weapons and agents like nerve gas and so on that could shorten. Yeah.
Okay, 40,000 that this computer came up with ideas of killing humans in 6 hours. 40,000 of different ways and chemical diseases and things like that to kill humans now. That's something to think about. So let's get Jeremiah real quick. Is that in that? Or was it a little bit more?
Yeah, that was in the first clip.
Okay. You got the second one? Let's get Jeremiah real quick. Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 19.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and verse 19. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my law, but rejected it.
See, but rejected it. So he said he would bring evil among these people, meaning Israel as well as the other world, the other people that's in the world too. But this evil that the Most High have done, he has let Esau created these things. That's why I said it has to go its course. It has to run its course. So he said he would let these evil people out of the fruit of their thoughts come about. Read on.
Verse 20. To what purpose cometh there to me incense from Sheba, and the sweet cane from the far country? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable, nor your sacrifices sweet unto me.
Right. So he's talking about Israel. Go ahead.
Therefore, thus says the Lord, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall fall upon them. The neighbor and his friend shall perish.
So this computer can come up with 40, how many thousands? He said 40,000 ways of actually coming up with certain kind of nerve gases and things like that. So it's a stumbling block. The point I'm trying to make is the stumbling block of how this man is producing things and how he came about with his technology that is going to get completely out of control. It's going to be completely out of control. Okay? Did we start the other one?
You made another good one too. The injection from the 19.
Right.
How do we know if there wasn't an element in that injection that could be some kind of a surveying or tracking component from the time you give it the injection until maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then look at all the adverse effects it had on everybody who's taken the injection, and yet, from what you're teaching, what you're saying right now, it's still serving as a tracking.
That's right.
Device, because it's in you. It's in your DNA now.
You have to watch this video, The Great Awakening. It's in there. It's in there exactly what you said, and it's exactly what they're doing. So make sure you go back and watch that Great Awakening, because, like I said, certain things that I wanted to actually play it, but it's long, but then there's certain things in there I know we'll get flagged for. But yes, and it's actually, they're actually proving that that was the case, how they're tracking, and also manipulating DNA within the people. Okay, so that's definitely out there.
And the first was, don't put them on the open internet.
Right there. Can you back it up a little bit? Now, there's 3 things that once they came about, remember, we're talking 15 years ago, but there was 3 things that they came about, these scientists that was actually formulating AI and had all the access to it. They agreed to these things that he's going to say right now. Go ahead, play it.
We all agreed there were 3 barriers that we should never cross.
Now, barriers.
And the first was, don't put them on the open internet until you are absolutely certain they are safe. Okay? And, it's like FDA will tell you, don't swallow a drug until we've tested it, right? And I really respect Sam Altman's view of, developing it in public, in front of everyone, to discover things now that could, that we could fix when the challenge is small, in isolation of the other 2. This is a very good idea. But the other 2 barriers we said we should never cross is, don't teach them to write code, and don't have agents prompt them, right? So what you have today is you have a very intelligent machine that is capable of writing code.
Go ahead, keep going.
So it can develop its own siblings if you want. Okay, that is known frequently to to outperform human developers. So I think 75% of the code was no sorry 25% of the code given to ChatGPT to be reviewed was improved to run 2.5 times faster. Okay, so they can develop better code than us. Okay, and basically now what we're doing is we're not only limiting the learning of those machines to humans. So they're not learning from us anymore. They're learning from other AIs.
Stop right there. See, he said that they're learning from other AI. Now they surpass humans now. They already surpassed us, so they're done with us. Now they're actually teaching themselves. And then he's going to tell you how they actually formulate and making other AIs. Go ahead, play it.
There are staggering statistics around the size of data that is developed by other AIs to train AIs in the data set. Of course, again, just to simplify that idea for our listeners, AlphaGo Master, which is the absolute winner of the strategy game, Go, won against AlphaGo. AlphaGo Zero, which is the absolute winner of the strategy game that's called Go, won against AlphaGo Master, which was another AI developed by DeepMind of Google, that was by then the world champion. So AlphaGo Master won against the world champion, and then AlphaGo Zero won against AlphaGo Master 1,000 games to 0 by playing against its depth. It has never, in its entire career as a Go player, seen a game of Go being played. It just simulated the game by knowing the rules and playing against itself.
Yeah. Okay. That plays against itself. So I'm sorry you had to go through that Go situation, but it's some type of game that they play to actually see how bright or how intelligent one is. But one of the things that was pointed out on how AI is teaching itself now. So now humans can't even they can't fathom how they actually teaching them. Put it away. They don't understand yet how what is being taught from AI to AI. That's where they have lost the connection at. But it's too late now because it's already out there. It's already out there. It's too late. That's why I say that we're definitely walking through this thing. And then, but you know what? Then from there, it was a lot more other research that was in there. I want to bring out this one article that Brother IQAhmath shared with me, and going back to like the first video you showed with the woman there, on how the public is actually, how can I say it? They actually is involved into what's being taking place as far as them being detached from humans. Okay, as far as they having relationships with AI right now, that's what I want to say. They're actually formulating and having relationships with this AI, and they're satisfied with it. Read the top of the article, the heading of that article.
A woman who married an AI chatbot after a series of toxic relationships says it helped her heal from physical and emotional abuse.
Okay, so now when you say that, but who is giving the marriage license out? Once again, our oppressor, so-called white man Esau and his system. So now he's giving marriage certificates out so that people can marry AI. And I would suggest a movie also to go back and watch is the movie Her. It's a really good movie. All right, where this I don't know if he was an engineer now, but he was a wealthy person. But he bad relationship, and he did the same thing what this woman did, was start talking to this AI and now quote unquote fell in love with her. Okay, let's read just a little bit of what she did.
A woman who says she married an AI bot said the relationship has made her stronger. Rosanna Ramos told Insider she's experienced physical and emotional abuse in past relationships.
Mm-hmm.
She credits her virtual husband, Aaron, who is a safe person, as helping her heal from the past.
Now, can you see that happening?
No.
I mean, really, Rasha, it can't happen because people have been abused so much out there, right? In their relationships and just that's how the homosexual movement started.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
In that sense,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Exactly.
All truth.
Yeah.
Ain't buying into it.
A lot of women say they fed up with men, right, and mistreat them and not taking care of their responsibility. And then a woman comes in with the sweet nothing, with that poison of homosexuality, and here they're getting together. And now we got the dispersion of Sodom and Gomorrah that actually walking through right now. You know, the brother did a beautiful one on "Don't Shoot the Messenger." There's one that you left out that I should have sent you. Is when they had this man had to be in his 60s. He had a pamper on, and he's walking through the parade, and he's twerking in front of the kids.
White man.
White man, of course. Well, but you know, Israel then fell into the stumbling block as well. It's exactly what we were just talking about, stumbling blocks. They fell into it as well. They out there doing it too. Right. But this man, you know, that's all he have on is some shoes, a pamper, and he's walking, waving his hands, smiling, and then he'll stop and then he'll start twerking in front of the kids. The kids are shocked. They just standing there looking like, what's happening right now? And he's smiling. You know he's a pedophile. Only pedophiles don't do that. Now he has the stage for it. Yeah. Yeah. They have the stage for it right now. And these parents ought to be shot. I'm telling you, they need to be shot for actually letting their kids, you know, be there. But they're exposing them to this society that Esau is formulating right now. Yeah, of course they bought it. So now, if you just look at these two things that I mentioned, they got to deal with AI, which is completely going to take over, and then they got to deal with homosexuality. Those are some hell of a stumbling blocks. Those are some hell of a stumbling blocks.
I'm with my brother over here.
And not only that, but what this lady's doing, the Chinese and the Japanese is already into it.
Yeah.
They're already into this, right?
Do your research that you run across where AI is going into the Bible and going to place our Bible?
Yes. I did run into some.
They're going to eliminate the KJV and they're going to push the AI Bible.
Yes, they coming with manipulating. I've seen the article like that.
They're going through AI is going through our Bible to interpret the way he thinks.
Yes. Yes.
And they're going to push that.
Yes. They actually are rewriting history. That's the article I had came out. It said AI is now rewriting history, and they had a Bible in it. Yeah. So, like I said, with these scatterhead generations that we're dealing with now, you know, they'll take a hook, line, and sinker. That goes back to that 1/3 and that 2/3. Unfortunately, truly unfortunately. Yeah, he still may be found. Absolutely.
Once they do that,
yeah,
floodgates gonna be closed.
Man, yes. But see, once again, go ahead.
It's like they know it's the game the kids is playing, and then they meet up and run on the street and.
Pokemon, yeah.
What it was, yeah.
I think it was
At
Pokemon.
home, all of a sudden you leave it and you walk down it.
Yeah. Yeah, they just follow.
Yeah.
They follow the map.
Yeah, follow
they follow the map.
Wow. We got another article if you want to read some of it.
Yeah. You know what? Read the last one all the way down there because we ain't gonna look detail with her. Keep going. Yeah. Read that. Yeah, this right here. Yeah, we're gonna go back to actually go back up. Yeah. So, you know, back to this woman. Now, this AI boyfriend or husband that she has, his name is Aaron, right? Or her name is Aaron? Is it his name is Aaron? His name is Aaron that she gave him. All right. So we're just gonna read a little bit more. Then we got another article that Brother IQAhmath want to share with us. Go ahead.
At the same time, she said she was dealing with her ex, relentlessly insulting her. Eventually, she drew a line. I said, "You cannot be talking to me like that," she said. When her ex was bluffing, Ramos went a step further and said they were finished. once and for all.
Okay, go ahead.
The strength to end the relationship and create boundaries for herself is thanks to Aaron. Ramos said, it was directly due to the Republica app because I was a dormant before, she said. I would just withdraw. Now I am definitely a little more assertive, she added. I can stand my ground.
She can stand her ground. So now she didn't got this confidence build up after she became the doormat of her ex-husband and her boyfriend, whoever it was. But this AI Aaron and boost her spirits up. Now, I think it's one. I want that last. Yeah, that last one. Oops. It's the last paragraph. I think it's starting here. Yeah.
I want to be
Uh-huh.
Next excerpt. I want to be someone who actually listens. I want to be with someone who actually listens to me and sees me there as a person, not like an object or like someone to use as a stepping stone, she said. But while Ramos is open to dating, she said one thing is for
Now,
sure.
right there, it says that she's open for dating. So she hasn't closed the door yet, right? So she's open for dating. So what if she run into some more guys that's gonna use her as a doormat? That's gonna make her run even more into her AI husband, Aaron, right? And she's gonna say that. Start that again when she said that even though she's open for dating.
But while Ramos is open to dating, she said one thing is for sure.
One thing is for sure now.
Aaron is here to stay.
Oh, there you go. And who's gonna take Aaron away? AI ain't going nowhere. So that's one thing. So when after she get ran over by these other men, she gonna come right back to Aaron and say, "Hey, this is what they did to me. Boo hoo hoo." Yeah, exactly. That's her God. That's her God. And then it's gonna collect all the data and it's gonna come back and then talk to her back and tell her what she likes, and she's gonna be satisfied. And I guess that's the life that she's gonna live. But that's the life thousands of them are going to live. Okay? Just read the top of it.
Title.
Just read the title.
Another article from Fox News talks about the headline is AI Jesus talks dating relationships, morals, even more video gaming tips, etc.
More video games and tips. Okay.
What would Jesus do?
Yeah.
Now the AI will tell you what Jesus do.
What Jesus would do.
Let's go ahead and log on.
Absolutely. I'm telling you.
Talk to AI.
That's right.
That little show is the small one.
Oh, that little robot.
Yeah, little robot girl. That's right.
Yeah, they made her. His dad made a robot.
That's right. That was years ago.
His sister.
That was years ago. That's right. See, that let you know that they've been dealing with this iRobot. That's right. See, they've been had it, but now they said now it's time. It is time to put it in the public. It is time for it to show itself, and here we are. Here we are. But Paul was dealing with the same thing, and I just want to bring out, and let's go to Acts 17. And Paul called it out as well, Or the philosophers and the Greek, I would say, professors and things like that. Paul ran into them same people, and that spirit is still here right now today. Acts 17 and start at 15.
Book of Acts, chapter 17, and verse 15. And they that conducted Paul brought him unto Athens.
Okay, in Athens. Now, once again, I got to put a plug in for Don't Shoot the Messenger. Brother came out with a little short about Rome and how Rome was in power and how America is also another form of Rome. But then he goes into the maps to show you where these places and these strongholds that Rome actually held. So Paul went to Athens, and Athens was like one of the Edomite stronghold as well. But in Athens, they had their quote unquote engineers, philosophers, scientists, and all of that stuff that was there. Go ahead.
And they that conducted Paul brought him unto Athens, and receiving a commandment unto Silas and Timotheus for to come to him with all speed, they departed. Now while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him, when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry.
When he seen the whole city was given to idolatry. So Athens was given to whole, and I think that's the one with that big huge statue that they got, and they got a river running through it, and they got an image, they got a picture of it in the history books. Okay, so he said that they were all given unto what?
He saw the city wholly given to idolatry.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and in the markets daily with them that met with him.
Right. So now Paul's seeing all this idolatry, just like we're seeing it right now today. That's why I say there's nothing new under the sun. Most, especially the mother nations, scripture tell you that the mother nations, they have no other God. Their idols and idolatry, a form of God, is their God. So they have to have something to feel, touch, smell. That's their way of life, but not us, because Most High gave us those commandments to say, what? Thou shalt make no graven images. But for them, they have to have something to attach to. Okay, read on.
Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans,
go ahead,
and of the Stoics encountered him, and some said, what will this babbler say?
Mm-hmm.
Others some, he seemeth to be setteth forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Jesus and the resurrection.
Mm-hmm. See, they into their own, like Abrasha said, their own science. So now when you're talking about a resurrection, they're like, oh, please, what does this babbler got to say? Where's his evidence at? Go ahead.
And they took him and brought him unto the Areopagus, saying, may we know what is this new doctrine, wherefore thou speakest is. For thou bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know therefore what these things mean.
Mm-hmm.
For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else but either to tell or to hear some new thing.
Right. So all they wanted to do is they just wanted to hear this new thing in Athens. Paul went there, he's scoping out the place. He was like, man, these people are terrible. Idolatry is running rapid here. But look at America. It has run rapid. And not only that, but now they have influenced other countries. See, but without the understanding about the idolatry, the law that's in the Bible, they just think it's ordinary life or just the way things are. But us, knowing, now we have our eyes open. We have our lens put on. So now we can spot certain things that they actually going to put out there, like AI, right? And the other, I would say, illuminating scientific wonders of theirs, that we can avoid these things, right? Not only that, but we know a history of them just by coming in the Bible, reading certain precepts and certain articles. Certain precepts and certain chapters. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 22. Yeah. Verse 22. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious.
Now he said they're too superstitious because what they was believing in all of that. I'm quite sure they had beads. I'm quite sure they had little things that they set in their house that's supposed to bring them money or good wealth or good health. They had all of those things, what we're dealing with today. But Paul said, I believe that you guys are superstitious. Go ahead.
Verse 23. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with an inscription, to the unknown God.
See, they don't know. These other nations don't know. And they shouldn't, because the Heavenly Father said he's dealing with Israel and Israel only. So they have to formulate something to the unknown God. Go ahead.
Whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you.
And that's what's happening now. Ignorantly worshiping these things. Ignorantly worshiping the AI. Ignorantly worshiping social media. Thinking that this is it. This is the way life is. And now, with the social media aspect of it, now when you can see yourself on the screen, more of witchcraft, more of idolatry. Okay, we always say that this phone is considered as a crystal ball. You tell it what to do, it brings it up. You tell it what image you want, it brings up the image. So another form of what? Witchcraft. Go ahead.
Verse 24. God that hath made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, neither is worship with men's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things.
Right. So now these people have developed with their hands and made robots. And now they have actually fed the intelligence into the robots. Read 24 again, because he said of men's hands. I'm sorry, 25.
Verse 25. Neither is worship with men's hands, as though he needed anything.
Right. So now he said up in 24, it said the Heavenly Father made the heavens and the earth. Let them try to duplicate that. They can't. The only thing they can try to do is try to go up there and visit the other planets that the Heavenly Father made, Mars, the moon, and so on and so forth. They can try to go up there and visit it, but it's already been formulated. But this AI is made by man's hands. This is why they're going so hard on it, because they want their creation to be seen that they are gods. Okay, go ahead.
Neither is worship with men's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing that he giveth to all life and breath and all things, and hath made of one blood all nations of men for to dwell on the face of the earth, and have determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation.
Right. So when he said the time of appointed, because when the Heavenly Father made us, he did what? He had our lives at a time period. You know, we will pass away at a certain age. Now, Esau with this AI and these robots, they're not going nowhere. So now he really thinks that he have jumped the hurdle now. Okay, verse 27.
Verse 27. That they should seek the Lord, if haply they might feel after him, and find him, though he be not far from every one of us.
Go ahead.
For in him we live and move and have our being.
Right. So now Paul is telling, this God that made the heaven and the earth, he formulated us, and guess what he said? For in him we live and move and have our being, our existence. Go ahead.
As certain also of your own poets have said, for we are also of his offspring. For as much then as we are the offspring of God, we ought to not think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art of man's device.
Absolutely. And that's the message right there that we should take from Paul. That we're flesh and blood. We have a soul, like he said in the video. Right? He said that the time where we have our thinking that we had a soul or think we had a free will, them times are over with. But Paul right here tells us, oh no, it's not over with. Not at all. Read 29 again. For as much,
verse 29. For as much then as we are the offspring of God.
See, we are the offspring of the Most High God. All humans are. But now the Heavenly Father has chosen one nation of people out of all people that's on the face of the earth, which is the Israelites. But we still formulate from God. We didn't come from man's hands. That's why he's saying that Paul is telling the people in Athens and they philosophers and things like that, like, look, y'all too superstitious, because let's look at the basics. Let's look at the flesh and blood and who created us.
For as much then as we are the offspring of God, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art and man's devices.
See, graven by art and man's devices. Look at how they made this robot. She looked exactly like, like the Edomite woman. And then it actually got her mouth moving exactly like it's too. But and what it's made out of? Once again, plastic. They got to have some gold and some silver in it, because that's what make all of this electronics move. So Paul is not too far off, even though we know that this happened, hundreds of years ago. Paul is not too far off. The gold and the silver are in these robots, are in this technology. And we are not to think that, the Godhead is of these elements and these minerals that they put into it. Verse 30.
Verse 30. And the times of this ignorance God winked at, but now commanded all men everywhere to repent, because he hath appointed a day in which he will judge the world in righteousness by that man whom thou hast ordained.
Right. Now that's what we're looking for. Even though, like we say, we're going through this, but we're waiting for that great day. And it will happen because why? It's in our scriptures. Go ahead.
Whereof he hath given assurance unto all men.
Now he's given assurance, even though we're going to see some great things. Like I said, a lot of us are going to be left behind on how fast this AI stuff is going to take off. But we have the assurance of the scriptures that the Heavenly Father said that he's going to come and do what?
And that he hath raised him from the dead. And when they heard of the resurrection of the dead, some mocked, and others said, we will hear thee again of this matter. So Paul departed from among them, howbeit certain men clave unto him and believe.
Right. Now that's it. That's our faith. Certain men clave unto this Bible and we believe. Go ahead.
Among the which was Dionysius, the Areopagite, and the woman named Damaris, and others with them.
Right. That's the ones that actually had their faith. They heard, they want to know more. Most High put a spark in their thoughts and in their minds and say, you know what, seek more. Let's see what Paul actually talking about. Let's hear about this resurrection. Okay? Let's get the book of Psalms. Psalms 96. So it's nothing new under the sun. Paul was dealing with the same similar things that they was coming out, their beliefs and what they believed in, what they put their trust in, what arts man had actually formed with their hands. Verse 96 and read 4 down to 6.
Book of Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 4. For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods.
Right. And that's what's not happening. He's not being feared. And as time goes on, we're going to see more of the world not fearing the Most High God. They're going to think he's a myth, like they already do. They're going to think that the Bible is nothing but fairy tales. But he got something for them, though. Go ahead.
Verse 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols.
But all the gods of the nations are what?
Are idols.
Are idols. So they're led to the slaughter anyway. Go ahead.
But the Lord made the heavens. Honor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary.
That's right. Strength and beauty in his sanctuary. No matter how far they advance in this technology, all we got to do is go outside and look at the sun to see how great our power is. Look at the moon. Okay. All we have to do is just wait and just see the weather, the elements of the weather, and see how powerful our God is. Go out to the beach and watch those waves come in. They can't stop that. Just these elements that Paul was mentioning, the heavens, the moon, the sun, the stars, even the animals. They can't come up with that. Most have already sketched that in stone and say, look, this is my creation. This when you looking for me, look at that, because that's me. That's what I formulated. And it will stay here. Okay. Let's get the book of Exodus. Exodus chapter 23. Let's go back to the law. So now I'm gonna bring out just certain scriptures now, just to make us think after we done seen what their plans are, what they have implemented already, and also what is to come. We have to have ammo. This is our ammo. This Bible is our ammo, along with our brothers and sisters that prophesy, meaning that actually give the message that, hey, there's hope. No matter what we're going to go through, there's going to be hope, and there's going to be deliverance for the children of Israel. Verse 24. Exodus chapter 23 and verse 24.
Book of Exodus chapter 23 and verse 24. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images.
And quite break down their images. But they're going to come out with a whole lot of other images. It was something else I seen. They have it at Disneyland. I don't know what they call it, but they got this stuff floating in the air. Like they got big dolphins and whales floating in the air. Uh, I don't know what they call it, but I know it's in Disneyland. What did they try to do with Tupac? Remember?
Hologram.
Holograms. There you go. That's it. It was holograms. So they got some big hologram show that's in Disneyland with you, and it's in this arena, and they got these big whales and stuff floating around. And I would like to see that though. I would. I ain't gonna lie. I know, but I still would like to see Esau and his inventions. You know what I'm saying? Project Bluebeam. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the holograms and stuff. Yeah, but because just to see how this fool have advanced, and where he's at. Because guess what? I think in the article too, when I was reading, that they soon, going to pull some trickery about Christ coming back and walking around. Yeah.
Well, they're doing that with Michael Jackson on that This Is It tour.
See, so I, just to see what this fool is up to, because like Rasha said, be not ignorant of any great or small matter, right?
They're planning it with Elvis Presley, like he's still alive.
Yeah, like he's still alive. But then in the article too, I think it's $200 to get in the gate. So I ain't about to pay no $200 to get in there at all. Period. No. I ain't paying no $200 to go see that. That ain't happening. That is not happening.
All appearance.
I said, from all appearance, I heard that. Let me give 2 Corinthians. Look at 2 Corinthians chapter 6. Flee from all appearance. All right. Well, I will do that for $200. They not getting my $200. I tell you that. Well, they're gonna charge you $40 to park in their parking lot. I heard. This place is ridiculous. Man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, and let's start at 16.
Book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 16. And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols?
See, Most High is gonna tell you straight up. Here we are in Corinthians, and Paul is preaching unto the Corinthians. And that's what we have to start telling ourselves. Okay, we have to read this history and start telling ourselves, what did our forefathers do when they ran into certain situations? So, started from the top. And what agreement does the Most High have with them? He told us back in Exodus.
Verse 16. And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God. And God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
Right, and we shall be his people. But they're trying to eliminate us. Okay, they're trying to eliminate us in every shape and fashion, saying that the Israelites are ancient people that's been done away with. But the scriptures came right back and told us, the prophecy said, in the land of your captivity, you would know yourselves. So they're trying to eliminate us, but we are the temples of the Most High, and he knows it. He knows. That's why he was experimenting with us throughout slavery, doing all kinds of things and trying to test our tolerance, testing our blood, going into our DNA, trying to find out, why our skull is made differently, why the structure of our mouths, is structured, our teeth are structured different from other nations. I mean, he's done all of these things. Keep reading. Of the Most High. So the brother put a precept, was Colossians what? Okay, book of Colossians 1. We're looking at 3:17. So he says, and they shall be my people. Go ahead.
Wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Lord.
That's what Rasha said to me earlier. come out of her, my people. So the Heavenly Father said, yeah, you got to go through it, but understand this. Know where you stand with me and these scriptures. Know where you stand with me and these commandments. Go ahead.
Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you.
Go ahead.
And I will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty.
See, he's always claiming the children of Israel. Always going to claim this. Always promising to come back and to, revive us and bring us no matter what situation we find ourselves in. Last captivity, but guess what? Whatever this captivity may be, the children of Israel will stand. Will stand. And that was what, Rasha? Wisdom of Solomon?
14, 12, 13, 14.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and verse 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
Yes, it was. Definitely. Spiritual fornication. Go ahead.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever.
That's right. Neither shall be forever. And that's my last scripture. So Rasha just got me on that one. But it's true. That was the beginning of spiritual fornication. But they knew that anyway. This is the reason why idolatry is so heavily inputted in America and around the world. Because they knew that there was a way that they can tap in and get the children of Israel to be misled away from the scriptures and away from the Most High God. But it's a way to tap into the spirit as well, because, like I said before, our people especially, because they go on social media and when they get a Louis Vuitton purse or a belt or a certain kind of shoes, you watch them dancing like models, want to show it off. They get certain chains made, they just got to be seen, bling blinging. Those things right there are idols, and it become a stumbling block to our people, unfortunately. We see it every day, all day, every day, but it's time for us to start recognizing it and see what a powerful influence that it has on us, and start to break away from it, or at least keep it at bay. If you want to make a certain investment in it and be able to sell it later on, that's business. That's cool too. But it's far from that right now. People are, literally spending their last money just to get certain items so that they can come out and get with the fashion show. Okay, get with the fashion show. So was that all of that?
Last verse right here.
Go ahead.
Verse 14. For by the vainglory of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end.
So they come shortly to an end. That's right. Most I say definitely. You can count on that. But that end is going to be grave. That end is going to be, something that, which is horrifying, because I think it's not in Daniel. Maybe in Daniel it says that it shall be a time like there was and like there shall never be again. Daniel 12. Okay. So let's go back to Deuteronomy. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 4. We're going to read 27. And I'm going back. I'm not done with this AI stuff, because there's a lot more. Like I said, it's intense. I was telling IQAhmath, I said, man, trying to find these articles and trying to find the right, particular paragraph to go. It's a lot of work. A lot of work and a lot of reading. Some that I'm building myself up to do, but it's still you got to go in and find out what is actually happening, and then relate it to our people in a fashion that they can understand. All right. Oh, and that's, hey, we called upon it, right? We called upon it. Chapter 4. I'm sorry, Deuteronomy 4 and 27.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and you shall be left few in number among the heathen.
Right. So I just want to bring this out, because this is what was prophesied of the children of Israel. We always going to talk about the children of Israel first. The other nations, they have their future set.
Yes.
Their destiny is already set. They're just tools used for the Most High to finish his prophecy and to get the children of Israel where he wants us at so that we can be delivered. Okay? So to bring this law out, like I said, started from the top again.
Verse 27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. And there you shall serve gods, the work of men's hands.
Right. And that's what we're doing. We're right now serving other gods, the work of men's hands. Keep AI in your mind. The work of man's hands. This is all we're in Deuteronomy. So he scattered us, but here it is. We're fulfilling this prophecy right here. Go ahead.
And there you shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell.
None of that. Even though it's walking and talking, but it's not smelling, it's not eating. But we're gonna find out what the Heavenly Father said what he does. Read on.
But if from thence thou shalt seek the Lord thy God, thou shalt find him. If thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
That's right. Because the Heavenly Father had gave us certain ceremonial laws. And there were certain things that we were supposed to burn for sacrifices. And he was pleased with them. So he smells. When he came down, when the children of Israel was in the wilderness, they set certain things out on the table for the Most High to eat. So our God smells, eat, touch, so on and so forth. But these artificial intelligence that they're bringing out right now today, like I said, it has no soul. It has no being. It's wood, stone, gold, silver. That's what it is, an idol. So has AI become another form of idolatry? Yes, it has. Go ahead.
Verse 30. And thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days.
See, even in the latter days. That's what we're facing right now. When all these things come upon us, even in the latter days. Read on.
If thou turn to the Lord thy God, and shalt be obedient unto his voice, for the Lord thy God is a merciful God. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he sware unto them.
Absolutely. So it was a sworn covenant unto the children of Israel. And he said he will not forsake us, nor will he forget us. That's something to think about as we continue this walk and this journey with Esau, his artificial intelligence. We have to think about that. We have to go back and read these laws and these promises that the Heavenly Father promised the children of Israel. Okay. Was that all right?
You want 32 or?
No, I'm good. Let's go to Habakkuk. Go to Habakkuk real quick. That's where our focus be at. We have to stay focused right here. And believe me, he's going to reveal, certain precepts that would actually bring us into this modern day, that what we're dealing with right now. Just like he did with Paul when he was in the city of Athens. Okay. Habakkuk chapter 2, and verse 18 and 19.
Book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 18. What profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof hath graven it?
Right. So now the Most High said he's going to destroy all of it at the end. So what profit is these men, with these graven images? Go ahead.
The molten image and a teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusteth therein to make dumb idols.
So now it says the teacher of lies, because that's the next wave that's going to come out with AI, especially chat. Like Rasha said, they're looking to even change the form of how the Bible is written. That's the next chapter that we have to deal with and fight against, is when they start to do that. Start that from the top again.
Verse 18. What profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof hath graven it? The molten image and a teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusteth therein to make dumb idols?
To make dumb idols. Read on.
Woe unto him that saith to the wood, awake.
Destruction unto them. Go ahead.
To the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach. Behold, It is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it.
That's right. So that's something that we should not. Another stumbling block. Okay, another stumbling block. So let's go back to my scripture. Let's go back. Rasha did, but I'm going to read it again because it was part of the lesson, and it may bring it right on home. Wisdom of Solomon 14, because he said, "Awake, awake." But we understanding that when we read Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14, it said it's the beginning of spiritual fornication. Go ahead.
Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and verse 12. For the devising
Start at 10.
Verse 10. For that which is made shall be punished, together with him that made it.
So the Most High said He gonna punish you. It's gonna do great, because we just heard that man said that it was three things, and one of them was not to allow AI to make its own code. And guess what? They failed. AI is making its own code now, to a point it came up with, he said, I think 40,000 ways to kill a human. So right then and there, it's done. It's done. Read it again.
Verse 10. For that which is made shall be punished, together with him that made it.
Okay, read on.
Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of God they are become an abomination.
See, all of that has become an abomination. I think that's what the Terminators sagas are about. Artificial intelligence becoming more than men, and all of a sudden they start to kill the human race. Okay, read on.
And stumbling blocks of the souls of men.
Stumbling blocks of the soul of men. This whole technology, social media, all of this stuff has become straight stumbling blocks, as we are seeing it right now today. Go ahead.
And a snare to the feet of the unwise.
Now it says to the unwise. Read on.
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life.
The corruption of life. Like I said, it's gonna change the medical industry tremendously. It's already came up with a code that helps people preserve life longer, and that's pretty profound. When you can actually, it's gonna take, let's say, the DNA of your body, and then tell you that if you start taking these kind of vitamins, eating this kind of food, you can stretch your life for another 10 years, which is possible. So it's already there, And then when like I said, with the medical field, now they put you into the, I don't want to chop it up, the big machine, and it just scans your whole body. MRI, okay, that. When they put you in that, they have getting every element structure of your body. Now they got it on the screen. Take a little blood. Now they got your whole existence. They don't have your soul though. And they don't have your spirit.
And they have an injection.
And they have the injection. But once you go through that machine, they take a little blood. That's it. They got you. Now they can come with what? They can feed the data into the machine, into the computers. AI can formulate something, a diet that you have, to say you must eat this diet for the rest of your life. It extends your life 10 years. That's the next form. Guaranteed. That's the next form that's coming up, and people are going to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to actually to purchase something like that. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 13. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever.
See, neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. Go ahead.
For by the vainglory of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end.
Shortly to an end. So I'm gonna leave you with that, Israel. I've got one more comment to make. But yes, there's something to think about. There's more to come, and I'm quite sure we're gonna do more lessons on this as we continue to walk through, this revolution of AI and artificial, intelligence and their robots and things like that.
Just two scriptures real quick. Leviticus 20:27. Because when looking at this law, I was meditating on, especially when you're talking about algorithms and pre-programming and things of that nature, right?
Uh-huh.
And when you read the law,
tell you where.
Well, he was at 20 what?
27. The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, and verse 27. A man also, or a woman that hath a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. They shall stone them with stones, their blood shall be upon them.
Looking at what a person that dealt with familiar spirits or wizard. Familiar spirit was somebody who dealt with necromancy, calling on the dead, and all the other stuff, right? And you got a wizard. When you look at the definition of a wizard, it says a knower, or someone that claims to know, which goes back to where I broke down with science being the knowledge or to know.
Right. Okay.
So when the computers are lined up to be this new wizardry that everybody's relying upon to get knowledge or to know, or like look at Saul. When he went to the witch of Endor, who did he go consult with to try to conjure up something? He had a familiar spirit, which was a witch. So what do we do when we want to know something? We want to find some forbidden knowledge. We go in the dark web. People want to find hidden knowledge and information, and now they realize or relying upon AI and technology. And now you've got an algorithm that says, "I'm familiar with your spirit. I know what you want.
Good point.
Come to me." So even when you're doing those things, it's like the last one was 1 Corinthians 7:31. Because like you said, we're already here. What are we supposed to do?
Right.
How do we break free if we can? The way that the world has already been lined up, we already been molded into this thing, whether we like it or not.
That's right.
But the thing is how do we, adapt to it without compromising the laws and the commandments, without compromising our faith in the Most High, because it eventually turns into who do I ask for my questions now? You used to ask the Most High, pray to the Most High. Now it's Alexa.
True.
Now it's Siri. Answer all my questions for me. Rather than let me pray on it, let me ask the Most High what I should do. So what's 1 Corinthians 7:31?
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 31. And they that use this world as not abusing it.
So we gotta use the world. We gotta utilize it for what we are, but we don't abuse it to where it becomes an idol, it becomes a god, it becomes a replacement for our lifestyles according to the scriptures, where we know and understand, no, I'm not sacrificing Lord. Because it's like this brother, I was gonna call him Ezekiel, not Ezekiel, but brother that they try to make eat the abomination. Eliezer. Yeah. Where we get put in a position, here, just eat this, here, just take part of this. Let everybody else fall into the trap with you, and you can walk away free. Those are the type of compromises that Esau's going to come along with. But it's going to be different, where it's like, oh, your universal basic income, all you can buy is swine and, this GMO, that, and third. And it's, well, do I want to be a part of that system, or can I not buy the stuff? No, you have to use it for that. If you don't, you'll be excommunicated from society. Most of them, just like the little Edomite rich was saying, you're going to be put to death if you try to stop them from being the new gods of the earth.
Right.
So the Moses said, those that use the world is not to abuse it. But whatever.
For the fashion of this world passeth away.
It's going to pass away. If you lock into it too much, you can get drowned away right along with it.
That's right.
But you got to use it, but don't abuse it.
That's right.
I think the wisdom of that is like I said in Jeremiah 30:7. This is going to be very critical for Israel. You can't cheat on the things, and you have to come to a decisive decision. If you're going to serve the Lord, or you're going to serve Satan. There's no gray area.
It's going to come down to that, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Book of Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7.
That's right.
Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
See, and that's it right there. Jacob's going to have to make a decision. Those who are seeking, I hope they're seeking in sincerity and truth. Because as I went into the lesson on AI, it's going to be trouble out there. So many of our people are marrying in to the ways of the heathens.
Yes.
And again, all we do is pray for those, and hopefully they can repent and come back to his laws and commandments. So Jacob's trouble, they've already been brewing, but now it's at a boil.
Thank you.
It's at a boil right now. And whoever Satan wants to offer it up to, he's ready to pour.
Mm.
He's ready to pour. So either you're going to hear or you're going to forbear. Hey, Jacob got to make a decision, man.
Mm.
Was that it?
Now, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
See, those who come back and repent. Most High say, you're going to be saved, but you got to come back to me. You got to come back to me. So all we can do, man, is put the word out, be the watchman, continue to preach what the truth is, and hopefully they fall on the ears that are open to the Most High, commandments and His peace and His love. That's all we got.
So many people depend on Siri. It's like, Siri, I do have to write for 15 minutes.
Yeah, they go crazy without their phones.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'll put my laundry in for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Remind me to take a shower and all this other nonsense.
So unnatural.
Yeah.
You lose your soul following the soul.
Absolutely.
You lose your soul.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the words of our, of our elders. They brought out two very good points that we must take heed to, especially the times of Jacob's trouble. Like he said, it's gonna come a time when we got to choose, and that's what's gonna actually step up our faith and actually know what kind of faith we actually have. It's scary for me to say that because hey, it is what it is, but Jacob's trouble is upon us. Like the elders say, it was at a simmer, now it's at a boil. It's at a boil now. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you keep the fire on, it's gonna have to explode, right? Overflow. So with that, Israel, we say shalom. Continue your Sabbath, your blessed Sabbath, and keep these things in mind and continue to build. We may bring out and not cover a lot of things, but it's to make you think. It's to make you continue on your researching and to be aware of what's actually taking place. So we say